Greg, do you have a
You want me to
remote?
move down?
Yeah, move down.
But I like it.
You've asked enough questions tonight.
You hit your limit.
You have been muted.
Greg has a remote over there, just.
He's gonna.
First one.
Yeah, just wait. Yeah, when Craig's ready to go home, he's just gonna shut all the power down.
So Lori's got the power
Craig,
to start it, and
this
Craig
is
got
the
the
signal.
power.
All right, you guys ready to go ahead and get started?
All right, Harry will start the prayer, and then we'll do the, can we start over? And you'll do Pledge of Allegiance.
If you would join me in prayer. Lord, we thank you for this beautiful day. We thank you for the rain we've had here, and crops look great. Lord, we just are thankful to live in a country where we can have the freedom to meet like this and be representatives of the people in our community. Help us to make good decisions today, and bless all of our teachers and staff this summer that they can get rested up and ready for another year. In Jesus' name, amen.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So we have the agenda for tonight.
If there are no changes to the agenda this evening.
Make a motion to approve the agenda as stated.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor? Approval of the minutes.
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor? Unanimous. Opportunity for public comment. There's no one signed up, so we can move along to the reports.
As you'll see on my report, the end-of-month balance for June was $22,058,967.87. That is up from previous months, primarily because we did have some CDs that came back into our accounts, and we also received our property tax payments for June. One of those payments for debt service goes right out the back door to make our bond payments, but the operations does stay with us for at least a little while. Investments, as far as what we still have in CDs, totals $3,555,837. Interest received from the bank for this month being June, $72,144.07. What we received on the two bonds that came back into our accounts, the one that was from our funds, and by our funds I mean it was a combination of education, debt service, and operations. We received $33,633.43. For the one that was from the bond monies, $70,134.62. So if we total what we received in CD interest for the year, the last 6 months, as well as what we received from the bank, we're looking at $541,320.30. I have told you in the past, we keep getting told that interest rates are going to come down, but some decisions are getting made kind of above us, the federal government, where the Fed has kind of lengthened out that drawdown schedule. So we'll see where that goes. As I've also told you before, and I'll remind you now, we're in a process of bringing the CD money back into the accounts. Once we have a better feel for where the Fed is going to go with interest rates, it's very likely we'll want to go back into CDs. But right now we think our best bet is to hold on to those funds until, again, the picture of what the future looks like as far as interest rates is a little more clear. If we look at our total funds with the CDs, along with the cash balances, total being $25,614,804.87. The payroll claims being submitted for your approval total $1,265,264.78. Vendor claims being submitted for your approval total $5,217,453.94. That is the biggest claims that I've given you guys since I've been here. Reason for that is over $1 million of that is going to be for what's going on in the roofs, the envelope, and electric work going on. Our bond payments make up about $2.5 million of that. Again, those are the reasons why that is as high as what it is. A couple of things to report out. Fiscal year has obviously ended, which means we've got a lot of reporting. Form 9 is finished. We'll start working on the AFR. We've also got reports that go to our bargaining unit, DLGF, as well as the Teachers Association. We try to use this time at the end of the fiscal year as kind of a checkpoint, compare where we've been in years past, analyze the trends, and then also kind of project out what is changing with SEA 1, other legislative changes, and what tweaks to our long-term plans we need to make. Open enrollment for the insurance, we're 2 weeks away from that starting. I'll report more out as we've got some details, but I can report now that LTD and life rates will stay the same. Dental rates will increase slightly. Vision will go up. Medical, the big one, we don't know about yet. Mark's attending a meeting for our trust on Thursday where they'll break the news with us. We expect an increase. We hope it's minimal, but that's something we'll obviously report out when we get it. Shred day for this year was 2 weeks ago. We shred 217 boxes of long-term storage. Last year, that was 169. And the year before that, it was 114. And every year, I've told you, next year will be less because we've done so much this year. And the next year, we do more. So I'm going to hold back and not say that. I will say that other people got the word that we were clearing out, and I think their storage has kind of been limited. So I know the high school brought over a lot. Special ed went through their files and added to the pile, but this is something that we've kind of detailed in the past that's been put off for a long time. So I'm happy to say we are putting a dent to it, and we can take you into the storage rooms. They're much more organized. There's more room. And Vicki Hill deserves all the credit for this. She's really taken the bull by the horns and done a lot of work around this. Last thing I'll report out is concerning our funding floor and teacher compensation. As a reminder, the state says that you have to meet and or exceed what you spent in teacher salaries from one year to the next. We did it. The other data point they want to see is that when it comes to teacher compensation, so salary but now plus benefits, you are paying out over 62% of what you receive in revenue from the state within the education fund. I'm happy to say that we met it again this year. We've always met both those points. But I will mention that I'm not sure I'm able to sit here next year and say the same thing, because some things the state is changing, one of which what we pay out in CASIC salaries, a lot of that we won't be able to count this next year. So we counted them this year. We can't count them next year. You're starting kind of a hole that you've got to climb out of, and it's a pretty sizable hole. So there may be a 1 year kind of asterisk where we don't meet the funding floor. With teacher compensation, we have the same hurdle in that the case accounts are coming off and we can't count all of them anymore. Plus, the curriculum funds will count towards the denominator that goes into calculating your 62% when you really don't want to or can't pay out those funds because you've got to spend it towards curriculum. So I'll detail that more once we get there. It'll be close on both, but I did want to mention that now and some of the things that we're having to address due to changes that the state is making. Any questions? More than happy to go into detail. Otherwise, I submit everything for your approval.
Beyond the CASIC stuff, is that C issues causing this funding changes?
Is it what?
The C issues, SEAs, SEA 1?
SEA 1.
Not in this case.
Not in
This
this
case
okay.
is what we pay out, that is the other school's portion. We've always been able to count. Next year, they're saying we cannot.
And that was something that was changed the legislative session prior to that, I
They
believe.
changed it prior, but it doesn't go into effect until this
Yeah.
current fiscal
So
year.
that was a couple sessions
Couple
ago
sessions ago,
that
yeah.
changed, and now we're seeing the trickle
Okay,
effect from
it's
that.
catching up. Okay.
Need a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the treasurer's report.
I'll second.
Any questions? Thank you, Kyle.
You need to approve that?
Oh, I vote, yeah, I'm sorry. I just wanna- yeah, all in favor? Yeah, on TV, I get nervous. All right, Craig, you're up. Oh, you're next. Oh. No, you- I thought Craig always went second.
You're always trying to cut in front of me. So you've had the opportunity to read my report, done a lot of interviewing for paraprofessional positions, trying to rally our administrators into kind of interviewing in an arena type setting, so we all have opportunities to kind of see who's the best fit for what classrooms. We still have a few classrooms left to find positions for, so we're still working on that. As far as all the grants and the applications, those are all submitted, title, the pre-app, the liability. I did apply for a RoboKind autism grant. We should hear about that mid-September, I found out today, so we'll see how that goes. The other piece that I've been working on is just looking into some social skills developments for some of our behavior classrooms. I know I put social emotional curriculum. I talked a little bit to Lynn about that beforehand. We do have the AEN, which we're still using, the Applied Neuroscience by Dr. Lori, but we also have a lot of students that are special ed with IEPs that are coming in from ABA facilities, and they lack those social skills. And so right now, we really don't have anything in those classrooms for those teachers to kind of pull from. And so I'm just investigating what's out there. You know, are there some things that we can trial or pilot to try to see what works and what doesn't, and what the teachers feel comfortable with?
Any questions?
I had a question.
Yes.
Lindsay, I noticed that another school corporation has brought in ABA therapists to work with their students. Is this what you're referring to possibly?
Well, we have the MOU that we can have, that we had approved here, I think in May. And so we have the opportunity to have, if parents in the ABA facility all agree to our MOU, to have them come in to do like a transition from ABA to school-based services. What we're finding is they're not always transitioning at kindergarten. There may, like, we have one right now that will be transitioning, and he's gonna be 9 in February. He's had no school experience. And so throwing him into a school experience where he's coming from being one-on-one with somebody in an ABA facility is difficult. And it's difficult for everybody. So if we can make that transition a little bit smoother with using their RBTs, their registered behavior technicians, to kind of help make that transition piece a little bit smoother, that's what we'd like to do with that MOU, but not necessarily having them here all the time, no.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions on my report?
Craig?
Okay. Good evening. First, I guess I'll jump down. Of course, I want to give a shout out to Sound of Music. They did a great job helping getting all this going. It'll be the first time we're live, so I want to thank them for their help and their service on that. Secondly, I'd like to go over some of the items we've been working on. A lot of it has been setting up the classrooms, getting them ready. Everybody goes through, I know I've said this everybody goes through, the custodians do a great job. They pull all the PCs out, they clean, and then when they put everything back in, then we have to go all the way back around and set everything back up again in every classroom every year. So it's quite the task, and I give a shout out to the custodians. They do a great job of getting that cleaned up and back in the classroom, so we can then get back in there and set everything back up for the teachers. So I just wanted to mention that. Skyward rollover took place on July 2nd. Online registration opened on the 9th. The schedules are scheduled, their class list to be open on August 1st. And one other thing I wanted to mention is we're working on Natalie Newland on the website design and the new layout. That's moving right along, and I know we're making some progress on that, so that's where we stand right now. Very busy. Oh, and we're getting the iPads organized. We've started with some class lists in certain buildings, trying to get those into the classes and ready for deployment for the fall. Any questions?
All right, okay, Craig.
Thank you.
Barrett?
Yeah, thank you. Good evening. A couple things going on. I know we're just a couple weeks away from welcoming our new staff members and then bringing back in our teachers and then our students. So we've been working diligently in our offices. We've got our new staff safety orientation coming up for our new staff members. We also have substitute orientation, which will be coming around here very soon, and working with our new substitutes on our new sub-program called Red Rover. On the transportation front, right now, hats off to Cindy McQuarrie. She's in the process of training 4 new bus drivers, so that takes a lot of time, but we will have 2 of the 4 ready to start the school year, so we're excited about that. And as of right now, everything's going very well there, knock on wood. Preparing a lot of our routes. We've got a lot of new students this year, so we're going to be getting ready for them along with our kindergartners. And on the curriculum front, we've got a lot of new legislation that came out July 1, so just trying to get those things in order for the building principals when they get back in so we can review that, and looking at iLearn and assessment data. So it is the summer. Sometimes it slows down a little bit, but we're still moving right along and staying busy. So that's my report for July, pending your questions.
Any questions? Thank you, Barrett.
Thank you.
Mark?
All right, thank you. You've had an opportunity to see my report, and I do want to, before I go into my report, give kudos to all the directors and Barrett, Assistant Superintendent, for all their teams and the work that they're doing. There's a lot that has been going on throughout this summer in every one of the departments, and it's just great to see the progress and the steps forward that we're making as a district. Besides going to a lot of different finance seminars and learning about Senate Bill 1, and I think we just got an email about bargaining on the 26th of August. I mean, we're getting all sorts of information, trying to decipher the changes that are going on. And the nice thing is we're in a place, I think, here at this corporation where it isn't a reason to panic, but we just have to navigate the storm and figure out our best course of action. But with that being said, we do have a lot of really amazing things that are going on that you might be able to see some updates here. And I wanted to share some before and after pictures. And so I want to thank Stephen Cecil. He was the pilot of our drone to take some of these pictures. And so if you look on your left, that's from June 12th. And then a month later, July 14th. You can see the EFS work here at the auditorium that is done, where we are basically tearing everything off. Also, the roof is being redone as well in that area, but the EFS obviously has had a lot of moisture. It looked like it was dirty, but it was actually like wet and just needed to be replaced. So that tan, and I don't know if you would call it a beige or a red, or I don't know what specific color it is, but I can tell you it is now elephant ear and dark bronze. So for my exterior expertise there, we are changing some of the color schemes to put a nice fresh coat on the school. So that's the middle school auditorium area. At the primary school, you can see June 12th, the old roof on your left, and you can see pretty much we have probably, I would say, 85%, 90% of that roof completed, just that very bottom section, and then the cafeteria that's elevated needs to be completed on that, but the roof would be done here very shortly at the primary school. At the middle school, Stephen had a couple different angles here, so I couldn't really give you some good comparisons there, but if you look at those red metal roofs, those actually will be the bronze color. That's what will be changed out with some new metal there as well. But you can see all of that. There's pieces of roofing material that will be on there that they'll do new roofing in that space as well. And then the penthouse areas, as they're referred to, will also have the EFS changed to the elephant ear color as well. At the intermediate school, on the left, you can see the old roof. On the right, we don't have nearly as much. It looks like we have about half of the north side. We call that section 9, actually, in our reports, but the north side of the roof is probably about half done. They're anticipating that entire side being done by the end of the week. We obviously have Jumpstart coming, and so we'll be able to utilize that hallway and the new hallway that's not having the roof replaced in that area, and we'll keep the 5th grade hallway, which is over section 13, or the south section of the intermediate school, vacant, and depending on the weather, we'll determine if they jump into that one now or wait. But we've had some strange weather. We've had rain and we've had extreme heat, and that's not good for roofing work. So that's kind of throwing some curveballs at us there. This was just an example of the south lot. You can see that at one point in time, as they were restriping, there's the football field that is painted on our south parking lot with the stripes. And then later, Stephen captured a picture that has the numbers on it as well. And band students will be here next week, so they'll have the right numbers to be able to march to on that. At the high school, you can see that we are painting the I can't even remember the right term for the panels, but these are panels that are getting painted to match the EFS work. And so you'll see on the left, these are both from July 14th. The left is the west side of the high school, and on the right side is the east side of the high school that's being repainted there. And then at the high school as well, we're doing a lot of concrete work. This was the corner of where the robotics room is, around door 22, door 21. It had a huge crack and a lot of displaced brick, and so they're doing the tuck point work there, replacing all the joints around the field house and the middle school. Some of the challenges that we're faced with the brickwork, and we are going to have delays and some things that we're going to have to work through, is because there's a shortage of our red brick. Wow. And so right now they're uncertain of when that's going to be made. And also, if it's not going to be made, then we've talked about staining possibilities. There's all sorts of things that are going on there. This is going to get done because we actually had some attic stock that they're utilizing for that. But we also have a lot of work around all of our windows at the middle school. When we talked about the joints that were put in wrong, they were like aligned with the windows, and so that was cracking it. Instead of having 18 inches, the stress joints need to be about 18 inches beyond the window. So those are all getting redone, but we don't have the brick to do it yet. And so that may get kicked down till next year. Also, we have some moisture issues around the middle school where the moisture barrier wasn't done properly. And so if you go around the middle school, you'll see all the bricks that are standing. I can't even remember what that's called now too. I'm missing out on some of these things. But like the bricks that are standing vertically instead of horizontally are all chipping and breaking apart. And so some of that work was to put the correct moisture barrier in there to preserve that brick or put new brick in. But again, we're waiting for the brick. So there is going to be a delay with the mason work, and we're trying to do as much as we can in this summer period. And then also at the high school, on the other side of that area that you saw on the previous slide, that's the inside that they're actually working on too with the cinder blocks as well. Also at the high school, the senior hallway, if you remember, a lot of the tile was popping up. There was some moisture issues and just a lot of tile breaking. That's a very highly traveled area when you think about going between the South Gym, central office, the high school. And so what we did there is we've put in luxury vinyl tile. And so the reason we put that in is because it doesn't need to be waxed. And we can officially say that the entire downstairs hallways, commons, areas at the high school do not need to be waxed anymore. We're just waxing classrooms in the cafeteria at the high school. So from a maintenance standpoint, that is going to free up time for our custodians. Like I know I talked to Brent the other day, and he's actually painted 4 different classrooms and has been able to do some of the other things that we seem to never have enough time to get to in the summer. So that was encouraging to get to that level. We did the same thing over at the intermediate school. So all that terrazzo has now been stripped down to a point where we just have to buff that and we don't wax it anymore. So we're trying to become more efficient in our practices of maintenance. And then I had these 2 pictures. I just look at these pictures, and on the left obviously is on the east side of 600, and then obviously with the high school, middle school, central office, all of our athletic facilities, and on the right is our elementary schools. We have a lot to be proud of. Like, that's a beautiful campus. I'm not gonna lie. I think it's an absolutely beautiful campus. And so when you really look at that, and I know Steven's not a professional photographer, and he was able to capture that with the drone, but I think we have a lot to be proud of. We have a lot to be thankful for. Thank you to the board for letting us do these projects and provide our community with an absolutely beautiful campus and a place for our kids to experience amazing things. So I just put those two slides on there at the end just so you can kind of look at that and say, yeah, that's pretty awesome stuff. So that's my report. So if you have any questions for me, I'd love to answer any questions you might have.
Any questions? No? Thank you. Mark. All right, next on the list is curricular material adoption approval.
So we've had the primary school, intermediate school, and high school, some of the reading materials. Actually, we've had them here for 2 months because our board meetings are 28 days apart, and we have a 30-day review. So we've actually had, 56 days to review the materials. And so we're asking for your approval to have these reading materials for those 3 schools.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions?
I had a question. There was nothing listed for the middle school, so the middle school didn't get any?
They're not asking
Yeah.
for anything at this time.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? All in favor? Lunch charge guidelines for next year.
Yes, Mr. Lazar has given an update on the lunch charge guidelines for this year, asking for a 25-cent increase for lunches. This is the first increase that we've actually had since the 2021 school year. So just asking for your approval. And then I think there's a 30-cent increase for adults in that.
I'll make a motion to approve the 25-26 lunch charge guidelines.
A second.
Any questions?
I have a question. So Mark, what percent free and reduced lunch do we have, you know, about?
We are right around 35%, somewhere around there.
So do they care how much this is, as far as getting that paid for?
That I don't think, I don't believe there's any issue there.
Any other questions? All in favor? MOU.
So we received the teacher residency grant from the higher ed department. This would be for $45,000. They actually haven't given me the MOU yet, but I wanted to go ahead and approve that because I know we're going to be starting school ahead of time. We've done this for at least the last 4 years, and there's been a lot of success to this, but what I've done is I've put the grant award here in front of you so you can see that, and then the practice and the processes will be the same on how we interact with IUK and Ball State. And so just asking for your approval that when the MOU is actually issued to us by the state, that we'll go ahead and accept the $45,000 to be able to pay our 3 resident teachers.
Make a motion, we accept the teacher grant from the state.
Second it.
Any questions? All in favor? Updated bonding of staff.
This is the renewal and update for this year. As a reminder, we do this every fiscal year, and if any changes during the year, we'll notify you. But this fills the legal compliance that we have to do this. Also protects us against any financial loss in case something would happen.
I'll make a motion to approve the updated bonding of staff.
I'll second.
Any questions? All in favor? Unanimous. Authorization to hire staff.
So we still have a couple positions to fill, some special ed para positions. We are in the process of hiring or interviewing for high school science, high school social studies, middle school math, and we have a reading specialist position over at the primary school. And there could also still be action and movement, over these next couple weeks. And each year we run into, we have school starting before our next board meeting, and so I've asked in the past for authorization to hire staff in that interim, and then obviously bring those individuals to you and update you as those things happen. So I'm just asking for your approval for that consideration.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor? 25-26 faculty handbooks.
Yes, asking for your approval for the handbooks that are presented.
So moved.
Second.
So I would like to make a stipulation. One of the things we talked about in another meeting, I think, and I talked to Mark, so our coach's handbook has something in there about appropriate and inappropriate language. None of these handbooks have that. So I would like to make a stipulation that we add something in there that, that swearing and vulgar language is not allowed. I'll let Mark decide what that language should be, but I think every one of these handbooks should have something in there.
I'm fine with adding that.
I got a question too. If we could in the future, because there's so many handbooks to go through, if we could get most of them showed us at the beginning what they were changing.
Like
what
the
was
Reader's
going on.
Digest version,
Yeah,
highlighted
which
versions.
helped the some,
Yeah.
a lot, but some of them did not. So you had to go through completely word by word. And so I just like transportation, custodial, and special vehicle. Special vehicle didn't seem to have any changes. So I'm just asking if the future, if we could ask for that. I know we talked about some of this last month, but not to this level, so just curious.
Yeah, we can definitely do that.
I had a question. The middle school, first of all, are we still allowing 8th graders to take Japanese?
I don't believe we are.
Okay,
Yeah.
that was
Is that
listed.
still in the? okay.
Yes. Another one, in the middle school, they still say to contact Barb Runyon, and so it doesn't have that new sub,
The
who to
Red River.
contact for subs in
Okay.
there.
Yep, good catch, okay.
And then also, it also says, we use Alto United Methodist Church as a place to send kids, and that is no longer in existence, but we had talked about that at another board meeting, and I don't know the name of the church. Steve Light's
Northview.
church, I don't remember.
It's
It's
Northview.
Northview.
Northview,
It's
okay.
Northview.
All right.
So Mark, when we have changes, how does that get rolled out to the people who are impacted?
I know, at the beginning of the year, they have their beginning of the year staff meetings, and they go through handbooks and updates from that standpoint for staff members. And I know, like, even Barrett has a substitute meeting. I think you actually have 2 of them scheduled for this summer to go through the handbooks. If anybody is driving the SPVs, so the special purpose vehicles, they have a handbook. We go through the handbook with them before they can even sign off to be able to drive those things. So each of the directors or principals go through those at the beginning of the year meetings.
So pretty much the changes we make during the year wouldn't really be rolled out until the beginning of the year?
Unless there's something that's changed, that's like, something that's urgent that we need to change, we would send that out or do that in a staff meeting. But the handbooks don't change midway through the year, it's just kind of an annual update.
Any other questions? All in favor? KSEC Joint Service Agreement.
Yes, just asking for your approval for our KSEC joint service agreement with with Western and the other 6 schools that form KSEC.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor? Overnight field trip request.
Yeah, Mr. Hyman is asking for the 25-26 athletic teams to have permission for overnight field trip requests based off of different circumstances, whether it's through state tournaments or however we have different competitions that may require that throughout the year. So asking for your approval.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions?
So do we
Yes.
have one for robotics?
we will get one. I know Mr. Reel did one, last year, so he'll wanna submit
Is there
another one.
anything else that needs one, or just athletics and robotics?
Band.
Band would
Music,
probably
yeah.
do one,
Choir.
or
Choir.
band choir would be another one. You know, I know Aaron tries to do it right before the start of all athletics, and so, it kind of depends on when their seasons are, so you'll have a couple others that will come to you, I'm sure, here in the next couple months.
Is cheer included with this as well? Okay, that's what I wanted to make sure.
Yep, that falls into that umbrella.
I got a question too. We had this question a couple months ago, and I thought we were gonna get some more direction on it, but maybe I misunderstood. The school policy on housing, the guidelines, where those are at, like who's in the rooms, how many are in a room, chaperones, that kind of thing. And I trust our staff, don't get me wrong, I trust our students, but what do we have in writing to protect them against the policies on how that's handled? So,
Yep, I think that's a great question, and I don't have an answer for you, but
Okay.
I'm gonna have to
I think it's
get that for you.
important.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, for rules on chaperones and sharing rooms.
Yeah. How many in a room, that kind of thing, so.
Yep. Okay.
All in favor? Neola Board Policies, second read.
So these are the volume 37 policies that we presented last month, and just asking for your approval on the second read.
Make a motion, oh, go ahead. I make a motion to approve the board policies stated.
Second.
Any questions?
Yes, go
So
ahead.
well, it's not relative to these policies, but since we're on policies, we had talked, and it might have been, I might be the only one that's left, but I know we talked at one time about having, if you have a male coach for female athletes, there should be at least one male or female coach on the staff, but I don't think we have that in a policy anywhere. So,
Yeah, I'm not
so
sure.
I would
I know,
like
I think that's a practice that we do have, though.
Yeah, I would like to see that incorporated into our policies somewhere,
I thought that was in one of these policies, that's actual statement.
really. Yeah, if you might recognize that.
I'll have to go back and look for it, but I remember some of what you said. I got a question on 5111. So I was trying to understand, they're taking out the part about the tuition being paid by someone who comes into the corporation from outside and then stays with a family or something. So by taking that out, anybody can come and stay with anybody and go to our corporation without tuition? Or,
So the dollar follows the student now, so that's why, before,
Okay.
you could charge tuition.
Oh, okay.
Years ago. That's changed. This is just update, yeah, it's changed for a while, so they're just updating this policy, so as the dollar follows the student, that's where our ADM count becomes important, and that's the money that we receive for that student, rather than somebody paying out-of-district tuition.
okay.
Yeah.
So the ADM covers all of our students then?
Yep,
And that's how we're
100%.
covered, so,
Yep.
okay, thanks.
So Mark, there was a new policy that the state passed that said you can no longer prohibit a student from transferring for athletic reasons. But we don't take high school transfers anyway, do we?
We take high school transfers, yeah. Yep.
I was thinking at one point.
And we still have the same standards for any transfer, where we ask for transcripts that show attendance, discipline, and grades. And then if we have room in that grade level or capacity, we can
So we
take
still
those
go by the
students.
200 capacity.
That's our goal, yeah.
Our goal or policy?
It's our goal. Because after you get to a certain number, then all of a sudden you're looking at more staff or less staff
Yeah.
and so on and so forth. So and right now, at many of our grade levels, we're not at that 200, but we're also monitoring class sizes. Like, we want smaller class sizes in kindergarten than we do in 5th grade. So we're monitoring those numbers.
Thank you.
All in favor of the second read? Unanimous. Personnel.
Yeah, asking for your approval for the personnel that's presented before you.
Make a motion, we accept the personnel recommendations.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor? All right. Board member roundtable, start with Joey tonight.
I want to say thanks to all the directors, Barrett's, Mark, thanks so much for everything, principals, support staff, everybody, for the summer. That summer's already blown by. You know it's gone fast when the fair's already done, the 4th of July's done, so the school year will be here before we know it. So I want to say thank you. Enjoy the last couple free weeks, if you will, prior to everyone coming back on campus. So thanks.
Harry?
No, thanks for being here. And there's a lot of work goes on in the summer. There's not students, but there's a lot of work goes on, so thank you for all you do.
Greg?
Yeah, I just want to thank everybody for all you guys do all summer long, because like I said, you guys don't get off like others do, and that's a factor, but we appreciate it, and it's obviously seeing the things we're getting done. Summer is going fast, obviously. We look forward to new teachers coming. That's a great thing, so, you know, look forward to that startup for the new year.
Good.
Jill?
Well, everything's probably been said, except thank Aaron for our all sports passes. So,
Yeah.
that's nice.
Seniors and the non-seniors.
Mine says junior.
There's a reason for that.
Do we have any documents to sign? Good enough tonight? All right, any adjournment?
Make a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Second.
We are adjourned. All in favor?
I think it's our